Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Whole Turkey's Chat. We are here talking with Emmanuel Haruno. Back again. We're going to be doing this for a little bit, then doing some Sea of Thieves. If you had anyone on your live who wanted to ask a question, I'd be down to answer any question they have. I'm very open like a book. Absolutely. I totally have some socialist values. I think that caring for your neighbor is important. I think that that's what people would probably claim as a Christian value, but it is there as a tenet of socialism. Yeah, people will say that, but it's Do you think I could base my argument of moralism if you think I could, if it would exist without religion?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me just say absolutely, yeah. I totally believe I could. And it just starts with, how do I want to be treated? Because
So you have a socialist society, right? Without religion.
well, here's the thing. I don't believe in a totally socialist society. I have socialist values.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
How do
so
you feel about Biden's racial slurs? That's
what?
one of the questions they have.
Okay, but like also here is how I get to my morality without religion. Basically, I just go with what's how I would want to be treated, like the type of society, like if I were to have this done to me, how would I feel? And then if it's something I do, or wait, real quick, it's a short answer. If it's something that I would like done to me, then it's something that I think should be allowed or even supported or endorsed, and it's something I don't want done to me. I think it's something we should have banned or severely reduced. And if we can't find a good reason that, and if it doesn't actually do anything to me, then it's morally neutral. And most societies have come to these conclusions without gods and before the gods we believe now. So absolutely, you can come to moral conclusions without
Before
God.
what time period are you talking about?
What do you mean? What type? What type of what?
What time period do you have that before the gods we believe? Because there's always been more religions than the gods we believe now. So.
Oh yeah, no, but there's like a lot of the actions that Jesus have done have been done by like Krishna and Ganesh but wait, real quick, that religion's older. That religion's older. So just direct answer to your question: where in history? Literally right there. Boom. That's all.
No,
Straight answer to your question.
Religion. I didn't say. Did I say Christianity? I said religion.
Yeah. No. Those are texts that were. Oh, okay. So you want me to find a version of morality that predates religion?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'm slipping on the name right now, but there were Mesopotamic? I believe it was a form of tablet that actually had a bunch of laws that were codified down, and they didn't have like a codified religion like we would recognize today. So,
well, were they influenced by religion though? Is that a factor?
I mean, how would you define religion?
Like any deities, stuff like that. Because
So
they might not be a religious group, but they're probably influenced by the religion around them.
Well, real quick, Buddhism doesn't have a deity.
They say that Buddhism doesn't have a deity, but they literally basically worship they worship. It's like weird, but they basically have that. So they believe in like a bunch of. I'm not gonna say I'm fully expert.
I mean, they don't worship anything.
It's not that, but it's like they're basically they believe in like spirituality and all this stuff. So technically, they still have a religion. It's just not really based on a god.
So you would define any belief that someone has as a religion?
No. It's like, but it's a spiritual. The Buddhism is spiritual though. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean, right? Like Buddhism is still.
I know what you're getting at, but the reason I'm forcing you to put it into words is because when we put it into words, we realize kind of how silly it is.
Not really.
I mean, yes, because like you're noticing you're struggling to put it into words now because like when we think it through all the way, it doesn't make as much sense.
The Dalai Lama, that's Buddhism, right? Am I slipping?
I believe so. Yes.
Yes. Then they believe that he got reincarnated in his soul and everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they believe in all that stuff. They believe in like an actual thing above them. They believe in the whole system of being brought back and being reincarnated and all that. So they
Yes.
believe that their actions will influence their futures, which is a religion based, just spirituality. They're basing this all on something that will happen after they die. That religious base is what's causing them to have morality.
For sure. So you'd say religion would be anything based off of spirituality. That's something that you can't prove in
Spirituality,
that moment.
basically people being afraid of things or being afraid of things or influence at things that are
Hmm.
not necessarily just straight up human, uh, straight up earthly materials. Basically, if you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Hmm. No, I get what you're saying, but still, there are. I really wish I had the name of this because I wasn't prepared to have a
No, I
religion
got you. I got you. I
conversation. But
got you.
there is. This is super soft. It's the name of it starts with an M. It has like an M in it, and
Yeah, we can
it
put a
is it's
pause
a
on
code
this
of
one
text
because
that dates like
yeah, we
super
can put a
back.
pause on this
And
one because I'm pretty sure, like even that one, I bet if we did enough research, it would be like these guys have like religious neighbors or something like that too.
no, but like you don't even necessarily need to go that far back in history because there are people like there are still indigenous tribes today, like in Brazil, that have not been like that haven't been what's the word like affected as much. They haven't been introduced to the society as a whole, and they
Well, you
still
know,
have cold.
talking about that island that like nobody goes to or whatever.
No, I'm talking like about like Brazil. Like there's tons of places in Brazil and the Amazon where there are tribes of people that have been left untouched for centuries,
But
and they
if they've
have
been left
morality.
if they have been left untouched, how do you know they don't have religion?
That's a good question on how I would know that they don't have religion. But
Yeah,
I would know that they don't have our religion, which would mean that
who
there is
cares?
something. Wait, real
That's
quick, real
religion.
quick, real quick. If they don't have our religion, then that would mean that there's something more than the fact of our religion that makes it better. That makes people want to that
I,
and that is an
I,
important place to start when you're asking how can you do it without like the gift of God or the grace of Christ. Well, people have
but
been doing it without like the gift of God and the grace of Christ because they have other things that they call. And when we like look at and when we actually like sit down and like look at what some of these effects and actions are, at the end of the day, it is usually self-actualization and
I,
more
but
self-confidence.
I still never really made that. I never really said, oh, specific Christianity. I was talking about religion as a whole. So yeah, as I said
No,
with
I
Buddhism,
know,
they
but
still
that's like
yeah.
like people would say that like how can you not believe in a god? Well, let's say there's 1,000 gods, there's way
Mm-hmm.
more. But let's say there's just 1,000. I don't believe in
But
999, and or you don't believe in
okay, someone in the
999,
chat
and
really
I
wants
just
me to ask.
don't believe in one more than you. And it's just a matter of like,
All
how
right,
are you sure that this one is like the correct one? And I don't think any religion we have right now stands up to that merit. So that's and yeah, if you
all right,
actually
so
look
yeah,
at like the
someone in the
moral
chat.
law that they prescribe, it is kind of awful. So, considering the fact that they miss some things by the mark so far, I don't think that that should be our weight bearer. I think our weight bearer should be something more grasped like in reality and human well-being.
All right. So one in the chat wants me to ask you, what do you think about the whole like Biden 1994 crime bill and him and like signing and writing the 1994 crime bill being specifically or tough on crime, and
Hmm.
you're specifically a person who's not really pro police like that.
Hmm.
How do you feel about that since you're supporting someone who literally passed and bragged about his veracity towards black people and in front of the Senate, and there's proof on this, and
Hmm.
how he supported defensive marriage, which was really against LGBTQ people too.
Yeah, so I'll be honest about the crime bill. I don't like it. It is something that definitely doesn't make me feel super comfortable. But like as I said in the opening, I was someone who considered voting for Bernie Sanders, and he is also someone who voted in line with that crime bill. And that when I was first looking into politics, when I was like very like trying to just figure out what it is, and I that like hit me over the side of the head, and I was like, how could they vote for something so terrible? But as you just mentioned at the end of the question, there was stuff like the Defense of Marriage Act, which was finally putting in actual law that would protect women from like abusive spouses and all of that. And
But
it's
the
important
defensive
to
marriage
wait real quick just to finish my answer because you asked me a question. I think it's important to understand that the way government works is that even when you control a house, you still need both sides to vote on a bill. So people will always be getting like certain stuff in and extra stuff in. And while Biden was proud for it, I think there were stuff in there that actually did make a good difference. Like, I used to be someone who thought the 3-strike rule was good. And so I think there's just also a matter of us coming through and, like, realizing what we want and what we don't want, like, in life. So I don't like it. I think it was a step of growing. The best.
And how do you feel? How do you feel about him picking Kamala Harris as a choice too? That like in my perspective, an even worse human being than him, someone who literally has been known to withheld evidence from people whose life would have depended on it, or maybe not if the evidence was released. Someone who literally used black people for free labor in California jails. Someone who is known for being super police strict, and so let's in a scenario Joe Biden cannot do his job. This is the person going to take over. These are the 2 worst people in policing. And Kamala Harris is very proud about her record. She was very proud of it, and now she's like acting like, I never did that. But she was proud about it. You know, how do you feel supporting people like that who, when they come into office, I mean, Joe Biden has already basically admitted you don't deserve to know his police his perspective on packing the courts. He's already proved to be a corrupt, crony establishment Democrat. He's gonna do whatever that gets him the money. Nobody cares. He doesn't really care. And it's been proven over his time in the Senate. And people say he has not had any power. The man has been the second most powerful man in the world 8 years consecutively. He has been in the Senate for over 39 or at least 39 years. Like, to be honest, why are these 2 people the best choice? And like, especially these 2 people. I mean, I would have easily picked Bernie Sanders. Oh, and on top of that, actually, I guess I'm getting a double on the question. How do you feel about the Democratic Party? How they just keep every year after every year, when the new generation of Democrats keep wanting to get their voices, they just say, "Shut up, you little young guys." They say, "Oh, you want Bernie Sanders? No, you're gonna get Hillary. No, you're gonna get Biden." How do you feel about that?
All right, so that's actually a 3-part question, but I'm down to cover the whole thing. So the first part, when addressing Kamala Harris as regards with the free labor, her position within the police, and evidence that has or has not been looked at, none of that makes me comfortable. But if you're gonna be mad at Kamala Harris for pulling evidence and partaking in those behaviors, we must understand that, first of all, with the prison labor, that's true of every politician who's ever said they are a pro-law or like hard-on-crime candidate, because our prison systems do allow for free slave labor. So anyone who's been a proponent, real quick, you asked me a 3-part question. I need to get to all of them. You asked me 3-part question.
I'm just saying this part because the reason I bring it up is because your party specifically always talks about the righteous, but always behind the scenes, always doing the exact opposite. The difference is the hypocrisy. That's what I mean.
Oh, well, hypocrisy. Okay. All right, so addressing hypocrisy between the Republicans and the Democrats, as well as finishing this 2 of a 3-part question.
Uh-huh.
Do you want me to do a backflip as well? I'm sorry, I'm being a dick. Let me just go. Am I gonna hit the hypocrisy first or the end of the first question? I guess I have to hit the hypocrisy first. So when it comes to the hypocrisy that I notice in the Democrats versus the Republicans, the hypocrisy that I see, it definitely happens on both sides. There's nothing that can be done to explain away that fact. Both sides definitely take claims and then also take actions that are contradictory to those claims. But you'll notice that when it comes to the hypocrisy of the Democrats, the people who are mostly pushing for the release, like the ACAB, the defund the police and all that, while it was members of the Democratic Party, in the same way that Bernie didn't get elected, it was not members that controlled the majority of the Democratic Party. So while we were trying to get our voice heard, to change the party we were in, unfortunately, we did not have the majority say, so we did not actually get to see it enacted. So when we see our party, the Democratic Party, continue to take place in pro-crime and like hard-on-crime type of stuff, it is something we look down on, but it is something that they were honest about doing. But so that I have so many more things. Emmanuel, please, Emmanuel, I have so many things I have to answer.
We have to be able to just chime in things really quick, man.
I know, like, but you definitely Gish Galloped all over the place. I have 4 points I have to respond to, and you keep cutting me off at the first thing I say.
In that exact thing right there, Bernie Sanders was like basically all like leading both times, and all of a sudden the DOJ swoops in and then gives all this
He
massive
wasn't
support to
leading the
one
whole
candidate.
time. He was leading in the early states.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. And then the DOJ comes in and just gives massive support. Don't you think that is just a huge disadvantage to him right as soon as they just drastically
Look,
support
as
one
much as
person?
I wanted Bernie Sanders to be the presidential candidate, he did not get support from the majority of the party. And if we're gonna be
But that-
mad because he had a lead in the beginning in the couple of early white states that voted, then just be super upset that he didn't win the thing all outright, then I don't really know. Like, we're just getting mad at the order things are happening in. We're not getting actually
no,
mad
no,
about
that's not what
what's
I'm saying.
happening
That's
or
not,
why they're happening.
that's not what
He
I'm saying.
didn't have majority support.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he had that early lead, and it didn't look good for the other guy. And then all of a sudden the DOJ, and this happened.
And I responded to that directly by saying that if we're focusing on the order of which who took what lead as trying to be mad at the overall process, we're focused on the wrong thing. We're focused on the horse race instead of what are the policies and what do people actually want to see. And I'd rather not focus on the horse race, if you wouldn't mind. I'm sure
saying,
all of the Trump supporters are so tired of politics and news companies talking about like the horse race and who looks good and who sounds presidential. Like, it's lame. It's not what anybody really cares about.
No,
So
that's not what I'm saying. But
no, that's exactly what you're saying when you're saying, but he had a
both-
lead and it looked like he was gonna win. That's actually exactly what you're saying.
No. Both times he was looking good, and then like right away, like in almost an instant, the DOJ puts like all their might, like
The
all
DOJ?
yeah, like
The Department of Justice.
No, oh my god, not DOJ. Sorry.
No worries. That's why I asked with such a
not the
tone.
DOJ, what is it called? The Democratic Party.
The DNC.
DNC there, DNC,
Okay.
Or whatever it is, or whoever they are. Yeah. They give all.
In which way did the DNC put their favor against Bernie Sanders?
I can't remember too much about in 2016, but I remember very much.
No, I mean like the most recent one, like 2018.
Yeah. Like I just remember like they start like a lot of them just started putting like I remember at least. Tell me if I'm wrong, but didn't they just give a bunch of support to like Biden like right afterwards? Like
yes, when the candidates dropped out, they informed their voters of who they thought would do the job best.
Yes.
Is that not fair?
Yes, but like the DNC actually giving all that support to.
Wait,
like,
if it's fair, why would we be upset?
But it's really biased, right?
No, not really. They were running for the race to be president. They were clearly not gonna win, and so then they decided the whole point of this was to make a better America. I'm gonna tell my supporters who to vote for, and
didn't the DNC tell them to do that though?
I mean, people conspiratory that, but there's been no evidence of it being the case, so I choose to believe things based off evidence.
Okay.
I'm stuck
So
not being able to believe it until I see
all,
evidence that it's true.
So they just all fell in line, just like so Yang, who wanted universal income, Elizabeth Warren, who was best friends with Bernie.
I mean, do you really think it's that hard to believe that people are afraid a socialist would lose against Donald Trump?
No, but like all of these guys just fell in line towards Biden.
Well, when you say fell in line, you're begging the question that they were told to do it, when in reality, they could very easily just all believe that they don't think a socialist would beat Donald Trump, and that beating Donald Trump was very important. I think that's a very rational conclusion to come to, and that's what, even when I was voting for Bernie Sanders, a lot of people in like my closest circles were telling me that like, hey, he calls himself a socialist. When Trump calls him a socialist, it's gonna stick. And it's true. As much as I thought we'd fight through it, it would have been true. And I think that's a fair thing for them to consider when they drop out of the race, you know?
It's a fair
so I don't really
assessment,
think
but
that's I don't really think that's enough to say conspiracy.
No, but it does kind of mean like they don't really believe anything that they said. Like all at the end of the day, like they are pushing all these like super socialist policies. Yang was pushing universal income. Warren was pushing, I forgot what she was pushing, a bunch of stuff too. I don't even know. And then like all this stuff, and then right as soon all their beliefs fell apart. I mean, I get it.
So let me walk you through what would have been their point of view on that. So they enter a race, right? When someone enters a race, do you think they enter expecting to lose, or do you think they have a chance?
I mean, some people I think they know they're
Most
gonna lose.
I'm gonna err on most people think they have a good chance to win when they enter a race like that. And so they enter a race thinking they have the ideas that are gonna sell the American people and get everyone on their side. And then lo and behold, a few months later and several $1 million spent, most of these people poll at below 5%. So facts, you know. So now we have to readdress what do the people actually want and what is actually going to win. Like if they continued on until the very last minute, that's the type of mentality I'd expect to be like, no, this isn't working, but I'm going to endorse it anyway. I think it's very reasonable to say they just looked at the deck that they were handed and said, I fold and it looks like this guy's going to win. You know?
It's reasonable, but it's still a little bit off, you know, and all this.
But if we want to talk about the offness of hypocrisy, we could jump straight to the SCOTUS nomination. Like, we could jump to precedents being set and laws being defined.
Oh, come on. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's jump to that. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
So, Obama was president for 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Did he get to pick judges in his 8th year?
Did he get to pick judges?
Did he get to pick judges in his 8th year?
I don't remember. I don't think he did.
Okay. Oh, wait. Let me ask a different question. Wait. Let me ask a different question. It'll help you. Did Trump enter presidency with a bunch of nominations ready to be filled? Did Trump become president and then fill a lot of judges because Obama left those judges out?
You feel like one or two. Yeah, he filled 2 so far. About to get another third.
No, not SCOTUS judges. I mean like federal judges.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Okay. Federal judges and SCOTUS judges are at the same bar. Okay. Do you remember not Kavanaugh? What's his name? The justice that Obama suggested. Corvich? You know his name?
Yeah, I think I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Supreme Court justice that Obama nominated in his last year. Do you know if that justice had a hearing?
No, I don't remember. No.
Oh, well, I mean, it's very important if we're going to talk about the hypocrisy of the SCOTUS nomination.
No.
So he didn't get a hearing.
Yeah.
He didn't get a hearing.
Okay.
Do you know why he didn't get a hearing?
Who was in charge back then? Oh yeah, of the Senate, the Republicans, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's party politics. I already know that.
Okay. Do you know what's in the Constitution?
What's in the Constitution? Go ahead.
Constitution says that the president gets to pick federal judges and Supreme Court nominations, right?
Okay, yeah.
So what you're saying is that the Republican Party engaged in party politics to defy the Constitution. Yes.
No. How does it define the Constitution?
The Constitution says that the president gets to pick judges, and then the Republican Party stopped the president from picking a judge due to party politics. How is that not party politics defying the Constitution?
It doesn't mean that they have to elect them.
No, they don't have to elect him, but they absolutely have to have a hearing for him.
Why didn't they have a hearing?
Because it's in the Constitution that says that.
No, why didn't they have a hearing? That's what I'm saying.
Because of party politics.
Okay, why?
Because they decided that the president.
There's context to it.
No, yes. If you're going to look at the quotes that they provide, is that the president was in a lame duck term because he was in the very end of his term. They said that because the American people were going to vote, the American people should hold off for 9 months and wait until the U.S. election, the U.S. general election. And that's what they did. They waited 9 months, didn't even have a hearing for him, which is they could have had a hearing for him and said no. They chose to not even have a hearing for him because they knew that he would get nonpartisan support.
I want to see the actual context of why they didn't have a. Now, I do believe it's party politics.
No, so because they said Obama was in a lame duck session.
Okay, I do believe it's party politics, but I want to know the full context of why, or the reasons, or how they didn't end up getting it. Because like it seems like I don't know the full thing of what you're saying right now. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, I already know that story of them not.
What I can Google up his name right now, and maybe it'll help jog some memory. Here we go.
No. It's not gonna jog some memory. I just remember that it happened.
Final.
No, bro. It doesn't matter for me because it's not gonna jog any memory for me. What I'm saying is,
no. I'm just gonna say it now so we have it in this saved context so we can come back to it easily. It was Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland was the Supreme Court justice that was denied to Obama in his final 9 months of being president of the United States. And I understand that you don't know much about that. So to just quickly finish up the point, Because they
But here's the
argued,
thing.
because they
I will-
argued, wait, real quick to finish up the point, because they argued that 9 months left in a term was a lame duck session and should not be awarded the seat, saying that 3 weeks left before, or it was 9 months left before the election, my bad, saying 3 weeks left before the election is close enough to give this president the nomination when it also looks like he may be losing. On top of that,
All right. Go ahead.
is it's hypocritical. And you wanna-
believe in your polls all you want, just like back then. Believe in your polls.
For sure. Well, I'm sorry, I added stuff onto it. Even if it didn't look like he was gonna win, they should be honorable and stand by their word. It's extra worse because it looks like they're gonna lose. I understand that's more that I have to prove, so I'll stand happily with it looks bad that they don't keep their honorable word. I can happily wait there until I get you the polls. Yeah.
You act like both parties don't play the hypocrisy.
I'm acknowledging that both parties play blah blah blah. Both parties play political games, but you seem surprised and you just wanted an example, and I gave you an example. I'm not saying that one party doesn't do it. You literally asked let's hypocrisy. You said let's go to the SCOTUS nomination, so we did. That's all that happened in the last couple minutes.
About, like this one right now. I was about to say like you're about to, because I already knew that they did some sketchy stuff in Obama's time too. But like they always do sketchy stuff when they're in power, so I'm not really surprised. Now the funny thing is just
but like there should be certain sketchy stuff that's uncomfortable.
Her last wish was that we don't elect another president until another.
I'm not hearing anything you're mumbling right now. You're gonna have to speak up.
No. The funny thing is, guys, you guys are like doing this whole thing on an emotional basis. Oh my gosh, her last wish was that she we pick another SCOTUS.
Okay, so you're bringing up an argument that I didn't bring up in a way to address an argument I did bring up. I think that's a little bit dishonest. Could we address the argument I brought up, or say that we're moving topics?
Okay, which argument are we still talking about? No.
I was just saying that it is extremely hypocritical of them.
Yeah, like I never said it wasn't. I never said that they don't do that.
Right. So how can you trust the Republican Party when they will go out for months and argue for something that's very unconstitutional until it's not in their favor? How could you possibly trust them?
Oh wait, I'm legit. Wait. I was talking about this. When did I bring up the hypocrisy again? Because I'm trying to remember.
The hypocrisy. Yes, it was part of your 3-part question that you still have not allowed me to answer, and it was with the hypocrisy of Kamala Harris putting people into prison and having there be people in prison who perform labor essentially for free, making them actual slaves. And I hadn't gotten to the other 2 parts of your question, so I would answer that directly. And then I addressed the hypocrisy thing because you said that we should address the hypocrisy thing. And then when I did that, you cut me off and said we should go to the SCOTUS. And so we did that. I've been following you this whole time, but you've never really been allowing me. Like a couple times now, I've gotten really good, but I still haven't been allowed to finish my entire answer.
Oh, I got you.
Because you keep adding more onto it, and I can't possibly keep track. Like I'm surprised I even have the first 2 questions because you didn't even let me answer them. That is called Gish Galloping, when you just make statements. So many that I can't address them all. It is incredibly rude. May I please answer your questions?
All right, go ahead, man.
Thank you, Emmanuel. All right. So you're talking number 2 about Biden not giving straight answers to stuff like the SCOTUS nomination, not saying what he wants to do when it comes to packing the court. And that also is extremely hypocritical because Donald Trump is the king of, I have a plan, it's in the works, and I can't tell you yet. We'll have to see when we get there. Donald Trump literally does that more than any other politician I've ever seen. So to bring that up as a contention against Joe Biden, I'd have to see you hold Trump to that standard before I believe that's something you genuinely think is a problem. And finally, it was the New Dems and how I felt about the New Dems being shut down in the Democratic Party. And it is unfortunate, but as I also said before, we don't have a majority yet. It sucks.
But you realize what I'm saying, right?
For
didn't
which
say about the
point? Because I
majority.
had to
I didn't
answer
say
a
that.
lot of them.
I didn't say the part about the majority. I am saying the part where literally they all just started falling in line for someone else. Now we can argue, yes, they think it's because they're gonna lose, blah blah blah. Or I mean, personally, I just think, well, that's very interesting that how they just give up all their beliefs and then
Now you're
vote for
talking
president.
about not about how the Justice Democrat or how the New Democrats were shut down, but you're just talking about the presidential campaign with Bernie Sanders.
I mean, hey, bro. I mean, you can say speculations and all that, but
I'm
at
not
the
saying
same time,
speculations. I'm just clarifying what topic we're talking about because there's been a lot of jumping around in the first 30 minutes.
no, I got you. I got you. Yeah,
Right.
I'm literally talking about like speculations of the DNC forcing them all to do that because it just doesn't make any
Yes,
sense.
you're implying that the DNC has forced them to do it. You've provided absolutely zero evidence that that is the
I just
case.
said.
You've just claimed it.
I literally just said speculations, my guy.
I don't know what we have much need for absolutely baseless speculation.
I literally said speculations, and it's like it's just funny how these people.
So if I start speculating about Donald Trump baselessly, are you going to be okay with that? Or are you going to think that that's not an honest way to talk?
I'm just, dude. Like the thing I'm pointing out is I just find it funny how that works. Like, because I mean, it's just interesting how they like jump for someone with completely different beliefs. You know, the Republican Party in
Who's
general.
jumping from different beliefs?
Andrew Yang.
So you don't think it's likely that they just decided that Joe Biden was most likely to win? You think that is not a possibility because you're asserting that the truth is that they fell in line.
I really don't. I don't. Part of
if we can't know, then we shouldn't assert.
No, I'm saying to myself, right? I really don't believe that it's because of that. Because
you think all of them genuinely thought that Bernie Sanders was gonna win?
I know. I'm saying that I think they didn't have any faith in Biden for the longest time, and all of a sudden they just fell in love with him. It's just
of course not. Who has faith in their opponent when they enter them in a challenge?
Yeah, but I mean, like at least Elizabeth Warren had respect and like all that for Bernie Sanders, and would have considered him as a VP, to be his VP and all that. You know, Andrew Yang.
What does that have to do with your prior claim? You're jumping to other claims again, Emmanuel, and I will not have time to address them all.
All right, I got you, man. I got you.
Like you just keep Gish Galloping. It's very hard to keep up with you. I got to get myself a horse to do it. Jesus.
I got you, bro.
All right. So, did you look into any of the stuff you said you were going to look into from the last debate?
I honestly don't remember anything from the last bit. I just had a lot of things going on. So
no, I posted it. I shared the link with you. I told you it was up, and I told you a week ago that we were going to be talking about this. Did you look into it at all in the 3 weeks since we talked, or the 1 week since I told you that this was going to be what question I asked?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Do you understand that makes it look like you don't genuinely care?
No, honestly, it's just a busy week for me, so I'm not.
3 weeks.
3 weeks? Was it 2 weeks or
we talked 3 weeks ago?
Really? Wow, that's crazy.
Yes.
Time flies.
And you told me in the conversation that you'd look into it, and then I just simply reminded you of it a week before. Or I mean, yes.
I don't really remember you reminding me. Dude, I'm telling you, I've really been busy.
How would you feel if you had a really good point? I said it was a really good point, and I told you I'd look into it, and you came back here and I hadn't looked into it.
Well, for me, like personally, I would understand. Like I would understand life goes on. I had a bunch of things to ship to Nigeria. I had events to go on. I had fundraisers to do. I had stuff like that. So I'm just like, I would understand, bro. Life goes on. There's a lot of things, a lot more important things going on, you know, for me. So I'm like, oh, okay, bro, you didn't look into a cool story, man. We can talk about other things, you know. For me, anyways.
For sure. So, but you're still gonna have those. You're still gonna walk around with those beliefs, though. You're still gonna believe that those things are true, even though I've provided evidence for the contrary, told you where to find it, and you simply have refused to look for it. Was that?
It's not that I refuse to look for it. Once again, it's
you've just chosen not to.
It's not that I've chosen not to. I've been really busy.
For sure.
I mean,
so were you when in your schedule were you planning on looking into it, or have you decided that it's just not worth looking into?
I just honestly, every time I wanted to look into a lot of things, I just end up. Oh snap! Wow, my battery is at 10%. What the heck?
Oh, you better go find a wire. But to answer my direct question, have you scheduled time to do this, or have you decided it's not worth time scheduling?
Dude, it honestly just goes with the flow. Like, I mean, I do this stuff on my Instagram story too. I posted. I just did a shipment to Nigeria yesterday. I had a lot going on. Personally, just not really my. It wasn't in the top 10 on my list for the past whatever.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
you realize when you give the answer when I ask, have you scheduled it or do you not care to schedule it, and you tell me of all the things you scheduled instead of it. You know how that
I
kind of
mean, dude,
answers the question?
there are drastically more important things in debates. You know, like
Right.
literally,
I understand, dude. There are people dying of hunger right now. There are drastically more important things in
and
debates
you
that we
know, one
have.
of the things that I
But do
do,
you understand how
and one of
saying
the
when
things,
I ask
one of the things that I actually do.
Emmanuel, yes or no? Do you understand how when I ask, did you schedule time or do you not care to schedule time, and you tell me how you haven't scheduled time, how that answers the question?
Well, you asked me. There's people dying right now. Literally, some of the things I just did like the other day, and it was on my story on my Instagram actually. Quite literally, I was sending goods and supplies people needed in Nigeria and a bunch of resources. So yeah, it's a little bit more important. I mean, my perspective than the debate. I'm not gonna lie.
I already agreed and
This
granted you that there are more
this
important
whole
things in the
debate just
debate.
lit my
I
mind,
asked
to
you
be
a
honest.
simple question that didn't have to do with that, and you're kind of misdirecting. I
Okay.
asked you if you understand when I ask you the question, did you schedule time for it? Or did you decide it wasn't worth scheduling time? And you tell me of all the things you scheduled instead
It
of
wasn't
that,
worth
how that
it
answers
wasn't
the question.
it wasn't worth it over all the things that I had to do,
For sure, thank you.
I can provide ample evidence of all the stuff that I had to do. I
You don't
literally
have to
put
provide bruh,
and I put
bruh,
and I put it.
I trust that you're trying your best to be honest. I'm gonna take you at your face value. I'm gonna trust you at your word. If you said that you
I put it on my
decided it wasn't
Instagram.
worth your time, you don't even
Yeah,
have to tell me about the other stuff you're doing. I'll take that at
yeah,
face value.
yeah.
It's
I
just,
put it
it's
on my
important to
Instagram.
be
I
honest.
put it on my Instagram the other day with the things I shipped to Nigeria. And, like, there's a lot of stuff that I do, man. It's not, it's not really anything against this argument. It's just not the debate is not worth more than the things that I'm actually doing in life.
Right. But
Yeah.
I guess what I'm getting at is that there's more to it than just debating me as well. Because the whole reason I do this, the whole reason I spin this up, and the whole reason I read things is because, like, I care about the way I see the world mapping up to the world. Like,
No,
when
I
I
got you. I
think a
got you,
thing
bro.
is true, I would like
Bro, I
for
get it. I get it,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I'm not, bro, and I apologize for not doing that. Just for me,
No, no,
bro. I
like,
mean,
you don't have to apologize to me,
it.
but it's just like
I
a
get it, bro.
demonstration that there's like a certain amount that
You're a
you.
college kid, bro. You're probably like this is more centralized to what you're doing. What that's things I'm doing is fundraisers. I'm doing shipments. I'm doing like rental stuff. There's a lot of things that I'm doing. It's not. This is definitely not the most important thing to me right now in my present time. So yes, I forgot about a lot of these things for the debate, and I apologize for that. But in general, I just really it wasn't worth. It was not. It literally did not have any weight over all the other stuff I had to do in this past couple weeks.
Well, I think this might surprise you, but I'm not personally offended that you didn't.
All right, cool.
The only reason
But
I
yeah,
bring it up right now is because I don't know if you voted already, but a bunch of people are voting on the president right now.
uh-huh.
And that means something. And so when we're talking about claims of who's doing what, ballots being thrown out, and things being untrustworthy, and
Uh-huh.
then we go to vote on that, I think it's important that when we do that, we have the best perception of reality that we possibly can. And that can
Mm-hmm.
really only come from looking into stuff. There's a lot of
I
things that
got
people
you.
don't care about, and that's why half the
By
country
the
who's
way,
of eligible voting age straight up doesn't
everybody
vote. Like, I get
on
it.
the
There's
line.
degrees that people care about stuff. And all
By
I'm
the way,
trying to
everybody.
do is get an accurate representation of the degree of which you care about the world around you, and that's
I
or the
got you. I got
accuracy
you.
of representing the
Hey,
world
bro,
around you,
and
and
the degree
that's
of
that's all.
by the way, bro, and the degree that I care about the world around me is very much, man. I do fundraisers. I do a
I
lot of
don't
things
doubt
for
it.
other people. Yeah, and I can send you
Most
all the
people
things that I do if
give
you
a fuck
want.
about the world they live in.
Huh?
Sorry. Most
No,
people
it's okay,
super
bro.
super
It's
duper
okay. It
care
doesn't matter.
about the world they
Doesn't
live
matter.
in.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's legit, bro. Like I can send you all the pictures. It was on my Instagram story. It doesn't like as like I this conversation right now is nowhere
Mhm.
near even close to the amount of impact I've actually had in the real world. This is a debate. It will fade. It's not gonna make much of a difference to anybody's life. The resources that I sent, the money that I've raised, and like all that stuff is vastly more important. And I
Mhm.
know that I did apologize. I did not take my time to do the research, blah blah blah. Doesn't really overall.
Well,
It didn't
no,
matter.
no. What we've shown is that you don't, because you value actually taking action in the real world more than researching.
Yeah.
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 So but you just choose not to do the research at certain times because acting is more important than that. And I agree. I think that's definitely a decent view to have. There's nothing wrong with that opinion.
Like that party I told you I threw with like 500 people. Like literally, the money I raised, I literally put into a fundraiser too. So like you can stick it however you want, and I put it on my Instagram story too. The money I raised, put into a fundraiser too. So it's legit the same thing.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I mean you can take it at phrase value. Like honestly, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I raised thousands of dollars for people in need, so I can go do some research on something that's gonna take up more time than necessary when I can use my time doing something else for people.
Mm-hmm.
I really, you know what I mean, right?
No, I know what you mean. There's plenty of stuff that I can't look into just because I'm in school and I'm doing a bunch of stuff as well. So I understand the concept of being too busy to look into something.
Yeah, they're saying we're saying the same thing.
I would just prefer if moving forward, if it's something that we don't even care looking into, maybe don't even bring it up, because it was actually a point that you made, and I corrected you on it, and you've decided that you don't want to look into it. There are better things you have to do. Maybe don't bring up that point if it's not something that actually changes your mind.
I got you.
And there's no point in us playing over in the weeds. Yeah.
No, I got you. On that point though, my laptop's gonna die. I want to do something really quick before my laptop.
Can you just plug it in?
It's not comfortable for me to plug it in. Look, my charger is right here. I don't have one of those extensive chargers or whatever, so I'm gonna be doing like this. Like it's not. I can't do that.
Okay.
And look,
what is it you wanted to do, real quick?
It's basically Omegle. So basically, it's a long story, but I'll be right back. I mean, I probably won't be right back, but.
Oh, so you're leaving?
Yeah.
Because I had a bunch of stuff that I still had to ask you based off of answers that you partially gave me last time. So you're just gonna go?
Oh yeah, probably yeah. I wanted to finish up before my iPad does. I thought my iPad was fully charged. I literally didn't know that it was like.
I mean, you can still charge it right now.
I literally can, but I won't be able to have.
Literally, yeah, you can.
I'll be like this.
You have to sit in a chair.
Yeah.
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 He said the charger thing is BS, dude. Literally, I'm trying to show people my charger is right here. This is the only points. Look at this. This is not comfortable for me, guys. I am not just BSing, guys.
It sounds. Jesus. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. This sounds like a lot of BS.
It does.
It really. It's shoe full stomping around BS.
Guys. Look at this. This is the stuff. How am I gonna do that? How am I gonna?
I mean, that sounds like a first world problem. You can easily swivel your chair and hold it in your hand.
For like an hour.
Are you really groaning at swiveling your? No, we're already like almost. I literally just have a couple questions, like maybe 30 more minutes.
Okay, wait. Okay.
All right. Well, if we give straight answers, it'll go super quickly.
Okay, guys, how is that gonna work? Because I will still have to have my iPad here. So how is that gonna work, guys?
You have two hands?
Bro, I'm gonna hold this thing forever?
Literally 30 minutes.
God bless, man.
I'm sorry. I can't help but laugh at that.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay, if you want to end it here, by all means. Like.
Yeah, I kind of do. Right.
Oh my god, dude. That's funny. That's funny.
True. Yeah, it does. Emmanuel's capping. You guys really want me to be uncomfortable for 30 minutes, don't you? Okay, guys, 5 is at 5%. Oh my god.
No, it's all good, dude. Don't be uncomfortable. You should go.
I'm just.
God forbid you be uncomfortable for 30 minutes.
Guys, I'm gonna have to be like this for like a whole 30 minutes, maybe even an
hour.
No,
I wish no discomfort on you. Please, by all means. I guess I'll see you after the election. Shit. It's a nice way to dodge all my Trump questions.
Oh my god, guys, and look, how am I supposed to smoke? I gotta hold it like this for like 30 minutes, guys. Jesus Christ.
Oh Lord. You're incredible,
you guys
dude.
Are great. Oh, come on now. You guys are really putting, bro. They're really saying that I'm dipping or something. Like,
Dude, it feels that way. I'm not gonna
oh my
cap. I'm not gonna
gosh, you
hold your
guys are so
hands. Like, it feels
nah.
that way.
Lord. All right. Now y'all making me want to go actually get a charger for just to feel get. Oh my
Go
god.
get an extension cord.
I don't
Totally. If
have
you gotta
one.
get
I
some more
don't
stuff, I'm
have one.
patient.
Even if I did, it still would be uncomfortable because like my iPad is like, oh my god. How do I do this?
Well, usually there's like 3 holes. One of them's round. And I'm sorry. Just having fun with it now.
This is what you guys wanted, right? All right, I'm about to be mad uncomfortable for 30 minutes or so.
You gotta give the people what they want. It gets them going.
How am I even gonna do this? Wait. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, but if I start cramping, I'm gonna stop.
For sure.
Guys, you have
and
to
the straightest answers to questions also get us both out of here the fastest. Because I have Sea of Thieves that I am planning on doing later. I got promises to my first subscribers.
I hope you guys understand how uncomfortable this is for me. I'm just making sure you guys understand before you guys start saying anything.
I'm sure we get it.
All right, does that work?
Absolutely. As long as it doesn't die, it works for me.
God bless. Wait, maybe if I switch hands. All right.
Let me know when you're ready. I'll start them quick fire mode.
All right, okay. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
You guys are saying put something behind it. Look, the charger is right there. I put something behind it already. Look, its lips on the side. Lord. All right, go ahead. My bad.
For sure. So here we go. You made a post 5 days ago about the partisan action endangering vote by mail. Who is taking the partisan action that's endangering the vote by mail system?
Partisan action endangering vote by mail?
Yeah, it's a post you made 5 days ago on your TikTok.
I honestly can't remember. Dude, no, Charlotte, I gotta try. Bro, look at this. How uncomfortable is this, though? Wait. Okay, I'm trying to remember. Can you show me what post it is by chance, if possible?
No problem.
I'm a little,
Let me see if I can also pull it up on here at the same time. I scrolled way far down. Yep, 16.9k views. It says, "This is awesome. Once again, we Republicans were right. How voting by mail could cost Biden the election." An article by The Atlantic.
That one. Yeah,
and then it jumps over to... Where's the article from?
Oh, wait,
it takes a second.
I can do this too. I forgot about that. I can try to do that. Yeah, there you go. That looks better.
Oh. No, it doesn't jump anywhere. It just stays on that. Yeah, so that's the whole point. There's no second punch. So it said, and the article goes on to say, because of partisan action, it looks like the vote may not be as safe as earlier predicted. So I was going to ask you, do you know who is taking partisan action to make the vote not safe?
Well, according to the article, from what I remember, it said it's because like a lot of Democrats are sanitizing their mailing ballots because they're afraid of the germs. So a lot of them being disqualified. But
wait,
no,
the ballots were being disqualified due to germs?
No, because of people sanitizing their ballots and them ended up being disqualified because of all like the sanitation messing up with all the information.
Oh, because they mess with that stuff?
Yeah. They mess with the actual, what's it called? The information, on the ballot filling information, yeah.
And that's what's endangering the election?
Huh?
And that's what's endangering the election? Because I'm pretty sure that article went on to actually talk about what's happening in California. A place where in California, the Republicans are placing fake ballot collection boxes out. And they're being caught and admitting to it and refusing to take them down to make some sort of political statement that it's unsafe. It's like walking into a preschool and being dangerous and saying, "See, anyone could do this." But if they were the ones not acting
Wait,
illegally,
was
it
that
would be
specific
less
article?
jeopardized.
Okay.
So I was wondering if that was the stuff that you were talking about, because that's what the Atlantic, the one you quoted, was talking about. Is that not what you meant?
That's not the one I actually read though. Like that's the one I used for the headline.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should read the articles we use for headlines, like we talked about last time.
True.
Because you also said since you're not going to go back and check it out, we might as well check it out the first time.
All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Is that fair enough that you can agree to and give me?
Wait, Republicans are doing that?
Yes, California Republicans are putting out fake ballot boxes.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yep.
And
that's I am down to listen to the other partisan action. People sanitizing their ballots sounds like something that might be occurring. If people are doing that to themselves and getting their stuff disqualified, I'm sorry that they don't understand how paper works. But the actual actions that are being deliberately taken are seen to be partisan from the Republicans, and I was just
that's very interesting. That's interesting.
And then you touted that as a way to say that, look at this, we're right because we're dangerous. I just thought that was curious. Maybe is that something you're willing of looking into? Is that something not worth your time of looking into?
It's just yeah. I don't know how often these Republican whatever you're talking about. I don't doubt that.
I mean, it doesn't matter about how often. It's a matter that they've admitted to doing it and will refuse to stop doing it.
The majority of the actual problem is people messing up their mail-in voting because a lot of people don't know how to actually do it, and a lot of people.
Okay, is people messing up their own ballot partisan?
That's not what I mean. Though I'm talking about
no, that's what I'm asking because I'm specifically talking about partisan interference because that's what's quoted on the article on your post.
That's not true. Here's the Pennsylvania. They just.
What's not true?
Wait, I don't know. It's something that.
You don't know. You just needed to say it out loud because it felt like the conversation wasn't going your way.
I'm reading something what someone said.
Oh, now you're reading off comments instead of addressing me and standing behind that. Cool. So we don't have to address the Republicans acting partisan and then you saying that there's partisan actions happening and not really address it.
I haven't heard about that.
Okay. Okay. Is this something that's worth looking into for you?
Sure, it's worth looking into, but...
Are you actually going to put time to look into it, or you can continue to do other things instead of that? If you're going to continue to do other things, even if they're noble, that's still your right, your choice. Nothing wrong with that.
I would continue to do other things that are more important to my life, and if I do have time to do some research on this,
okay. So you're going to just... Okay, so let me ask a different question now.
All right.
You're making posts, right?
Yeah.
You're not looking into the actual articles anymore. This is the third time. This is the third time I've directly asked you on it, and you've only posted like 2 or 3 other posts on your thing with articles. And so, are you just gonna post articles and not read them, and not correct them?
The Atlantic one, that one.
The gay pride one, the one with the New York crime commissioner that you never released a follow-up for with excerpts. Many of them.
I read a different article, right?
Okay.
And then I literally ended up, because my friend just gave me the Atlantic one. I was like, okay, I guess I'll use this one for my post. So yeah, I didn't read what the Atlantic actually said in that. And
okay, so this is the third time you've given that as a response.
Before we continue on this, we can both agree that the real actual issue with mail-in voting is the actual errors.
Okay, so this is
it's very heavy. It's heavily error based. It has a lot of errors in it. Right?
Now you're talking about the mail-in voting rather than the actual post.
Right? We can agree on that part, right?
Agree on that. The problem with mail-in voting is what?
It's very heavy on the error basis. Yeah.
I don't think there is a problem with mail-in voting, so I don't know what you're gonna get me to agree on.
There's a mail-in voting problem?
No, and before you redirect to is there a mail-in voting problem, I would really like to put a pin in this thing. Can we expect this to be something you do? Can we expect you to post stuff and not look into it? And every time I ask you that, and you say, well, it's just a post my friend gave me. And that's the third time you've said that. So you just mindlessly repost stuff your friends give you? Is that can we expect your content to be, Emmanuel?
Oops, I got you, fam. I really have to go back to the Atlantic article though because I don't exactly.
That's what you said. That's what you said with the police commissioner and the gay poll. And neither of them you looked into. Both of them you admitted you didn't have time for.
The article with the gay people. Are you talking about that thing? Bro, I already told you.
I'm talking about that as well as that and the mail-in and the shit. The mail-in, the gay. the police commissioner, and this one right now.
Ooh, I don't like
So
that.
that's, and it seems to be every single one I ask you about.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a second and we do go back to.
I have to be fairly frank with you, Emmanuel. I have no confidence that you're actually going to go back and review that because you gave me those exact same words in that exact same order in the exact same tone 3 weeks ago, and you didn't deliver. You didn't hold true on your words. So I'll be very honest with you. I don't trust that you're going to look into or correct any of them at this point moving forward.
I got you, fam. Hey guys, can you guys see me?
Is that something that's unreasonable of me, or would you have do the same thing if someone were to do the same things to you? Is this a conclusion you would come to, or do you think I'm being unreasonable by saying that I can't trust your word?
Nope. Wait, no. I wouldn't say that's unreasonable. I think.
Okay,
though,
thank you.
I don't know which specifically you're focused on, but you really don't think there's an error. There's the mail-in ballot issue, right?
I think that the mail-in ballot.
Even the New York Times, all of them have even acknowledged. All your sources have acknowledged that they have a high error basis. So why don't you think there's an error problem? There's no.
Well, because I've been paying attention to the voting process for years, and if we're going to be talking about errors or inaccuracies, there's an issue in that we never address actual in-person voting errors and issues where there are ballot places that. Or boxes where you can press it digitally and not get your vote. I do believe that the mail-in voting is just as accurate as those can be when they falter. Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's full cap right there, bro.
Well, wait. Have you never looked into digital voting?
Dude, every single article is against you on that.
Have you ever looked into digital voting?
No, not really. Why?
Polling boxes at voting established places with the people. They come and they check you off, and you stand in the booth and you press an electronic voting machine. Are you familiar with those in any way?
I'm not sure where you're wording.
I mean, I'm going somewhere, but you have to answer the questions as I ask them. Are you familiar with that process?
I'm really not sure exactly the words you're saying.
Okay, you're unfamiliar with that process. That's fine. So, how that process works is that people will show up in person, vote on a machine. There have been a ton of instances of where those electronic machines don't actually give you the result that you press in. Well, you will press a button and it will vote for a different candidate. And this was a serious problem heading into the elections before we were voting by mail. So if we're talking about not trusting the vote, that's important. Please tell me you heard that.
True.
Please tell me you heard my entire statement. Did you drop out there for a minute? Because I saw your camera disappear.
Yeah, I dropped out for a second. I was gonna fix something.
Okay. I'll say it again. The issue that we have with mail-in voting is not as big of an issue as Republicans are currently making it out to seem. And the reason
where do you get this from? Where do you get that?
I get this from the fact that there have been I get this. I'm answering your question. I get that you have gotten different information. I understand that you've gotten different information. I've asked you multiple times to submit me that information. You never have. Where I get my information from is there have been studies that have looked into the actual voting booths of in-person show-up voting, showing their inaccuracies. As long as there are paper ballot trails,
are these inaccuracies anywhere close to mail-in voting?
Accuracies?
Inaccuracies that you're talking
yes.
about. Wow.
When you have paper ballots that you can track, that is actually when you get to know how accurate you are. We have people who go in and use the machines and can demonstrate that the machine voted for someone they didn't select for. But when you do it digitally, it doesn't keep a record in the same way. Therefore, it's easier to change the vote of an in-person voting booth than it is for a mail-in ballot. This is one exact instance of where showing up in person is less reliable than mail-in. And through all of the studies that I've seen, and I can send to you, it shows that it is a very reliable source.
Wait, you're really saying that overall, voting by mail is safer than voting in person? You're really saying?
Did you hear my claim as to why? Yes, I'm saying that. Did you hear my claim as to why it is?
Answer the question.
Yes,
or no?
yes. I said yes 5 times, and I counter asked, do you know why that is?
Yeah, why is that?
What point? Okay, so you weren't listening. You weren't listening again. The reason is that to have a the reason is, stop talking over me, to have a physical ballot, to have a paper trail is more reliable than the digital show up in person. You understand that having a physical piece of paper is more reliable than having a digital 1 and 0. Does that make sense to you?
In theory. But
okay, in theory. In theory.
Wait, but the majority of Americans don't know how to fill in their million ballots. All these errors that everybody's reporting. The New York Times, every single person has been saying, yeah, these guys, this mailing voting has a high error margin. So
who is these guys? You just keep saying these guys. Who are these guys? Who are they?
Like even mainstream sources are saying it, bro.
Right, you just say mainstream sources. Who?
New York Times, all these people.
Because the actual FBI looked into my claim.
Okay.
So who looked into yours?
Wait. And that was the FBI said, that mailing ballots are safer
than digital vote-in polling places? Yes, they said that digital polling places are one of the greatest threats to our election. That's something they've actually said.
Are safer. Are you talking about in general, or
yes, because they have named electronic voting as a higher risk to our democracy than mail-in voting.
How?
Because they can electronically change the vote, and there is no trail to tell of who originally voted for who.
That's very interesting.
The fact that I had to explain it to you at that speed is interesting.
Wait, and they back this up with actual evidence, or they just
from the FBI? Yes.
No, in theory. So because they can't be traced, in theory, it really is less safe.
How are you using the word theory there? Because I don't think you're using it correctly.
My word. I don't even know what to say, bro.
Because you're just saying in theory it's better, and I'm like.
Can you? Yeah, I would love to see this FBI thing that you're using. If you don't mind.
For sure.
Can you send it? Can you send it to me? I would
absolutely,
love to see that.
For sure. I'll pull it up.
It's just interesting that yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do a lot of research. I know a lot of sources. I'll pull that up. Would you like to, while I pull that research for you, move on to the next question?
Sure. Yeah, let's move on.
Cool. Head over.
You caught me off guard with the previous question. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, because like unlike you, I like to ask questions one at a time.
Ooh. Oh my God.
Oh, hey, you can't get mad at that. You asked me 4 questions at once. You can't get mad at that statement. You asked me 4 questions at one time, and then I had to actually remember my answers, and I did. You can't get mad at that statement until you ask questions one at a time.
I didn't get mad. I'm just saying.
You said, oh my God, dude. Yeah, okay, you didn't get mad. You didn't get mad, for sure. For sure. Next question.
All right,
ready?
Cool. Wait. I don't like
Have you thought?
I don't like the look you just gave. That's weird.
Have you thought? Well, because I think this is funny. I think this entire interaction has been funny, start to finish. It's very humorous to me. It's a nice way to spend my Sunday. All right. Have you thought any more about letting the poor die, or do you still just want a perfect society?
I'm about to get into something weird right now.
Yeah. Have you thought any more? I can ask the question if you'd like. Have you thought any more about letting the poor die, or do you still just want a society without poverty?
Don't ask questions like that. Don't ask it in that kind of way.
Well, I'm sorry. Did you not say that you wanted people to have to pay for their medical insurance?
Yeah, but don't say that I want people to die.
Wait. Didn't you also say you don't want to pay for it out of our taxes?
Yeah, but don't.
Okay, wait, real quick, because you're gonna understand why I said it that way.
No, don't start the sentence by saying.
What happens? What happens?
Don't start the sentence by saying, "Have you thought anymore?"
Have you thought it? Yeah, it's important for you to think of it. It is. Yes. Yeah. If you stop overreacting and raging, you can understand why I phrase it that way.
Because you want to like be so vulgar.
No, because I want to make you think about the question. So, may I continue asking? Because like it'll be really easy.
But I did never
it should be really easy.
I want people to pass away.
You have.
Right?
You have.
No, I haven't.
Yes.
No, I haven't.
I will ask. I will ask my 3 questions, and you will say it again right now. I promise.
When did I say that? Stop that,
you said it in the very last conversation, and when I ask my 3 questions, you will have said it again in this conversation. May I ask my 3 questions?
No.
May I please ask my 3 questions in order and let you answer them one at a time?
Did I say those exact words?
Have you thought?
No. Did I say those exact words that I want people to die? Stop, because you're trying to do something right here on this chat right now. I don't like the way you're
right. Because you haven't realized something. So if I can explain to you why I phrase it this way, or I can ask my questions. I can only do one or the two because you are 100% going to interrupt me just like you did right now when I offered my answer and you interrupted me. Yeah, so I just offered my answer and you interrupted me.
You're deliberately like misrepresenting my position.
I'm not, and I'm giving you, I'm literally trying to explain to you how I've come to my conclusions, and you are not letting me answer because you're choosing to overreact.
Okay,
may I explain to you why I asked the question that way? May I explain to you why I asked the question that way?
Say it right. Don't be saying I want people to die. That's like
have you thought any more about letting poor people die because their job isn't good enough?
What? That is not what I said. Don't say it.
Yes, it is. I can't. Okay. Well, I'll let you rage until you're okay. I'll let you rage until you're okay. Let me know when you're ready to talk.
Bruh, just admit it. I didn't say those.
You did say those words, and when you're ready to talk, we can talk about it.
Wait. I said those exact words right there.
Yes, and we can when you're ready to talk.
Wait.
When you're ready to talk about you confirming the belief I've just said with my exact words, we can talk about it.
Look at the way you're looking away. You're saying that I said that I want people to die because of their jobs.
Yes.
I said those exact words where?
If I could explain, I would, but you won't let me.
No. Did I say those words verbatim? Literally. Those exact
you
words.
Expressed that exact idea. Yes.
Expressed it.
Yes, that exact idea. Yes, those words I used.
Everything I'm saying. Don't go out here and just say that I want people to die.
You do.
Holy cow, bro.
Bruh, if you would let me actually answer the question instead of being overreacting, you would probably agree with me. But you're overreacting like an actual child. You're being an actual child right now.
You're saying that stuff about me. That's not true, though.
Yes, if I ask 3 questions, you will have confirmed that it is your belief. May I ask the 3 questions? Maybe I'll ask the 3 questions, and you'll confirm it's not your belief.
I don't like this.
I know you don't like this, but you're also not engaging in the conversation.
I am engaging. Just make sure to say that you're literally like exactly.
You're literally asking me to be politically correct for you instead of asking my honest questions. Is what you're asking me to do.
No, well, you're not asking your honest question.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I'm not asking the right question. I'm not being politically correct enough for you.
You're
asking me to be politically correct right now, Emmanuel. I'm not. I'm literally not.
Yes, you are. You're saying that.
Bro, I'll explain myself when you're ready to talk.
Oh my god, bro.
When you're ready to talk, I'll explain myself.
No, you literally just admitted that I was implying stuff. No,
yeah, exactly. You're implying that you want poor people to die because their jobs aren't good enough, and I would like to address that belief that you have. And until you want to talk about it, you can rant.
Holy cow. That's not cool, bro. It's not cool. You have to admit that's not cool, dude.
It's not cool to want poor people to die, no.
Holy cow, bro.
Do you want to actually have a conversation, or you just want to sit there and overreact? Because I can let you sit there and overreact like a child, but I also have things I would like to do with the rest of my day. Exactly. I'm not going to be politically correct for you, Emmanuel. You're not going to force me to be politically correct.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, though. God bless.
So you're not interested in having a genuine conversation? Okay. So here are the 3 questions for all of those who are genuinely curious. The 3 questions were, do you think people should pay for their own health insurance? Then you ask, well, do you want to pay taxes to help them with that? And if you don't want to pay taxes and they have to buy it themselves, what happens when they can't buy it themselves? They die from lack of health insurance. Emmanuel doesn't want to be honest about that fact. It's a belief he holds, but he doesn't like the fact that that's what happens. Makes him uncomfortable. People should think about that. You should think about the beliefs you hold, even if it makes you uncomfortable. It's a shame that he has to run away. It turns out not everyone can stand by their beliefs. Maybe one day he'll realize, but he probably won't. Alright, let me figure out what's happening with this Sea of Thieves. Didn't even get to ask him about the clip from the Republican primary. If he figured out if that was actually a clip that Donald Trump said about George W. Bush being responsible for the deaths of 9/11. He makes so many weak promises. And I don't mind calling them weak promises. If you don't want to follow through, weak promise. If you promise me you were going to follow through when you don't, weak promise. Yep. Hey, world, don't let people's reactions to pushing the envelope stop you from pushing the envelope. Like, honestly. Because if you let the whole world stop you because they're just gonna freak out or get mad or, God forbid, be uncomfortable, you're gonna spend a lot of time doing a lot of things for a lot of people that really don't matter. Ask hard questions, you know? Figure out why things are the way they are. That's the only way we can grow. And realize if we're wrong. As it is, should be quoted on my page forever. I cannot wait to find out tomorrow what I was wrong about today. Alright, let's get out of this beach. Let's roll. So, with that in mind, we've just reached that part of the night. That segment of the stream. Where thank you for being here. Even if not the whole time, enough to be here long enough to hear me thank you. Appreciate it. I like that you enjoy this, and I also like the support, so thank you. I do want to remind you that I don't know where you are, and I don't know when you're watching this, but I would still like to wish you a good morning, a great day, and a nice night. Hope to see you guys all back here soon. Until then, take it easy.